for our workout. Turn your card back over to panels 7 through 12. You'll notice the first panel, panel 7, is our warm-up and warm-down panel, and panels 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12 contain 20 exercises combining the basic moves you've just learned. You'll perform each of these exercises for about 2 minutes, and during that time we'll add in slight variations, which are indicated by the stars on your cue card. Although seemingly simple, these variations target different muscle groups and increase or decrease the intensity of your workout. And don't worry about remembering everything. That's my job. At the pool, I'll verbally take you step by step through your workout with the workout CD. Now let's introduce you to our water gym team. You've already met Karen. She's the one in the bright pink bathing suit who demonstrated some of our basic moves. And then there's me in the green suit. I show up once in a while when I'm not making sure everyone's toes are pointed. Karen and I will be demonstrating the beginning version of each exercise shown in slow motion to articulate the details of the technique. And here to the left are 4 of our water gym teachers, Anne, Maggie, Nan, and Carrie, along with some of our water gym clients, Kate, Yvonne, Tennille, Ellen, Joyce, Linda, Barbara, Victoria, Annalise, Marilee, Lee, and Connie. Only 4 of our group is in their 20s and 30s. The rest of us are all in our mid-40s to late 60s, reminding us that we can build strength, power, and endurance at any age, shape, or size, which, by the way, studies have shown that we can build muscle well into our 90s. This large team will be demonstrating the more advanced version of each move. So first, make sure that your water gym belt is comfortable and secure so it doesn't ride up. Check that it is clasped properly and all excessive strap is woven back through the holes and tucked away in the back. Then carefully enter your pool's shallow end, staying close to the wall. Starting in vertical position in the shallow end of your pool, begin with a basic jogging leg move and then combine it with a basic jogging arm move. Notice your arms swing front to back in opposition to your legs so that your right knee is up when your opposite or left arm is swinging forward. If this is your first time using a flotation belt, stay close to the wall as you carefully transition into the deep end of the pool. There'll be a moment when all of a sudden you won't be able to touch the bottom. Don't change your arm or leg movements to compensate. Keep vertical, pull in your abdominal muscles, and mimic a land-based jogging move with your legs, lifting one knee up towards your chest as the other leg stretches down towards the pool floor with lightly pointed toes. Your basic jogging arms swing front to back from the shoulder, not the elbow, and your hands are in fists with elbows slightly bent and your palms are facing in. All water gym workouts begin and end with a few minutes of light jogging and stretch moves to warm up and warm down. These warm up and warm down moves are all on panel 7. Next is a stretch move that is a swim stroke you might already be familiar with, the side stroke. Starting in vertical side position, perform a front to back scissors kick with your legs by bending your knees, then straightening your legs front to back, then squeezing them together straight. One arm reaches out to the side, and the other arm scoops and pushes the water in the opposite direction. You'll do a few laps back and forth of side stroke, which is a great move for stretching the side body, the hamstrings, and the hips. The rest of panel 7 contains other stretches that you can perform now or at any time during the workout. Always feel free to take a break and stretch at the wall or incorporate any of your own personal favorite stretches into your workout. And by the way, if during your workout your toes or calves cramp a little bit, which happens once in a while to a few of our clients, this stretch helps release a toe cramp, and this stretch helps release a calf cramp. You might be surprised, though, to find that you don't need much stretching because water gym emphasizes full range of motion in many of the exercises, which stretches opposing muscle groups. And water's hydrostatic pressure improves blood and lymphatic circulation, massaging your muscles as you work out, as you can see here. So it's a great diuretic and leaves your muscles feeling wonderful, like you've had a full body massage. Now we'll start picking up the pace, focusing on calorie burning, toning, and strengthening. Exercise 1 travels forward, starting with bicycle legs, then adding big sweeping breaststroke arms. Your body is in the C-curve legs down position, abdominals strongly contracted, tailbone tucked under, chin dropped and toes pointed. Biking legs and breaststroke arms are primarily one-directional resistance moves, so Newton's third law applies here. For every action, there is an equal opposing reaction. So the harder you push back, the faster you'll go forward. Maximize your drag-creating surfaces by biking and feeling the water resistance on the entire back surface of your legs, not just your feet, and by pushing with the entire back surface of your arms, not just your hands. This move focuses on pre-aerobic conditioning and stretching while toning and strengthening your hamstrings, buttocks, and muscles of the upper back, as indicated to the right of your screen. By the way, we'll only be highlighting a few of the main muscles used each exercise because during the workout, so many muscles are used that it would fill the screen to show them all. Since you're traveling forward, eventually you'll arrive at the wall. When you do, straighten up to vertical position for exercise 2, where you'll travel backwards with a kick leg combined with jogging arms. Your feet are flexed, and your kicking leg initiates from the hip with a slightly bent knee through most of the movement, except when it straightens down to the starting position. The arms jog in opposition, and they emphasize the forward push in order to travel backwards. Keep upright and only kick as high as you can without strain or compromising your proper vertical alignment. And watch where you're going. This exercise mainly focuses on stretching your hamstrings after biking. And remember, we're still in the beginning of our workout, so take it easy with these first 2 exercises, even though we have shown you the more advanced versions. Exercises 1 and 2 are performed together. You'll travel forward with exercise 1, biking legs and breaststroke arms, and when you get to the wall, you'll travel backwards with exercise 2, kick legs and jogging arms. We really love traveling back and forth like this through the pool. It's fun, it's a great calorie burner, and it feels really good to stretch out and move. Exercises 1 through 8 all follow this format. Now we'll start adding more effort. Exercise 3 starts in vertical position with jogging legs, adding scooping arms, then slowly transitioning into the vertical lean body position. Remember, strongly pull in your abdominal muscles and keep your spine and neck straight and properly aligned. Your palms face down and your fingers are spread as you reach forward, then deeply scoop, pushing the water all the way back to the hips, pushing with the entire back surface of the arm to work the muscles of your upper back and shoulders. Now here we go with our first variation. At any point while doing this deep scooping arm with jogging legs, you can choose to do a shallow scooping arm where your arms stay close to the water level instead. Again, you reach forward, only you scoop shallow, pushing the water all the way back to the hips with your elbows reaching back. On this move, it also feels good to let your knees open wide, and if you have the flexibility, touch your toes. This move mimics a rock climbing motion, and it's a favorite for many because it feels so good and stretches out the side body. It's a slicing move with less resistance than a deeper scooping arm, so it's great to vary the two to give your arms a bit of a break. When you reach the wall, exercise 4 transitions from the vertical lean body position to vertical. Then you'll pull in your abdominal muscles and flutter your legs up until they reach the water's surface. You're now in the C-curve legs up position, where you'll transition right into a small, fast flutter leg with no arms. You'll travel backwards, so watch where you're going. Sit up, pull in your abdominal muscles, drop your ribs, and make whitewater with your feet, but only if you can make whitewater without leaning back, because we want you working your abdominal muscles. Your flutter kick initiates from the hip and follows through all the way down to the toes, so make sure that you really articulate your feet as you do your kick. This exercise works your quadriceps, hamstrings, and buttocks. Exercises 3 and 4 are performed together, traveling forward with jogging legs and scooping arms, either deep or shallow, and when you reach the wall, fluttering back with whitewater and repeating. Exercises 5 and 6 will repeat familiar moves with slight variations. We'll begin with jogging legs and jogging arms, only this time we'll transition into a vertical lean position, stretching out just a bit. Remember, don't lean too far forward. Your legs should always be well below the surface. Also, keep your spine and neck straight and abdominal muscles strongly pulled in to maintain proper alignment and support your low back. Your jogging arms initiate from your shoulder, so they swing like a pendulum through the water, with slightly bent elbows and palms facing in. You'll jog with your full range of motion for a few of your laps, and once in a while we'll ask you to pick up the speed and do a smaller, faster variation. Throughout your workout, you'll notice we'll switch back and forth from these short, fast repetitions where we fire off fast twitch muscle fibers to slower, bigger repetitions targeting the entire muscle so that you build power and strength in your extreme ranges of motion. You'll see this indicated on your cue card with a star and the words small and fast next to it. When you reach the wall, exercise 6 transitions again into the small and fast variation of the flutter leg with no arms. Remember to pull in your abdominal muscles and carefully transition from the vertical lean position into vertical, and then flutter your legs up until you're in the C-curve legs up position with your legs at the water level making white water. Remember, only make white water if you can do it while sitting up. Again, this move works your quadriceps, hamstrings, and buttocks. Exercises 5 and 6 are performed together, jogging legs and jogging arms traveling forwards, and when you reach the wall, fluttering your legs and traveling backwards with white water, and repeating. Exercise 7 starts immediately with a bent knee, flexed foot variation of cross-country legs combined with jogging arms in vertical position. Once established, you'll pull in on your abdominal muscles, then transition into the C-curve legs down position with your chin dropped. Your arms and legs are slightly bent and in a fixed position. Your arm movements initiate from the shoulder, not the elbow, and your leg movements initiate from the hips, not the knees. Keep your hands and fists with palms facing in. This move develops strength and power at your extreme ranges of motion, both stretching out and strengthening your hip flexors, hamstrings, and buttocks. When you reach the wall, straighten into vertical position for exercise 8, beginning with a medium-sized flutter leg, and then right into another variation for the scooping arm. Instead of scooping and pushing the arm back, we'll push the arm forward instead. Your palms face forward, fingers are spread, and you reach back behind your buttocks to push the water forward as your same leg pushes back in opposition. On this move, you'll really need to pull in your abdominal muscles to stabilize your torso, and the harder you push the water forward with your hand and the front surface of your arm, the more you will feel the muscles in the back of your thighs and buttocks, which are being worked in opposition. This move also strengthens your biceps. Exercises 7 and 8 are performed together, traveling forward with bent knee cross-country legs and jogging arms in the C-curve legs down position, and when you reach the wall, traveling backwards with a medium-sized flutter leg in vertical position with a forward scooping arm and repeating. By the way, if you're a beginner, this is a good place to stop your workout, transitioning back to panel 7 for some light jogging and stretch moves to warm down. Then each week, learn and add in a couple of more moves until you're up to the full 40-minute workout. Now you'll remain stationary for the next 10 exercises, focusing on toning and strengthening and using the water surrounding your body like a powerful gym. Each exercise is about 2 minutes, so we might add in 2 or 3 variations for each. In vertical position, exercise 9 combines cross-country legs with jogging arms. Your arms and legs are in a fixed position, your arms initiating their swing from the shoulder, and your legs initiating their swing from the hips. This is a high resistance move, so make sure your limbs lengthen and reach out in opposite directions without locking the elbows or knees. Your hands are in fists, palms facing in, and toes pointed if possible. Now for our smaller, faster variation to kick out the heat. Bend your knees, flex your feet, shorten the range of motion of your arms and legs, and pick up the speed. For this set of exercises, we'll be alternating back and forth between the shorter, faster repetitions of this bent knee cross-country and the longer lever version of our straight leg cross-country, working the shoulders, quadriceps, hamstrings, and buttocks. Exercise 10 repeats our kick leg with jogging arms in vertical position, only this time instead of traveling backwards and focusing on stretching, we'll remain stationary, focusing on strengthening and aerobic conditioning. We'll start with a few sets where we kick to the front, and then we'll be alternating back and forth with another variation, where we'll kick to the side instead of front, simulating a common kickboxing move. Notice that your body remains lengthened and in alignment, as one leg kicks out to the side and the opposite leg reaches down towards the pool floor. Your emphasis will be on contracting your abdominal muscles and pulling your legs in to strengthen your inner thighs and hip flexors versus kicking your legs out. For this set, we'll alternate between the side kick and the front kick. And watch out, we may even throw in some of those smaller, faster repetitions of each, just for fun. Exercise 11 begins with a large sweeping flutter leg and clapping arms in vertical position. Your large sweeping flutter initiates from the hip, bending and then straightening on the forward push and remaining relatively straight on the back push. Your hands clap close to the water surface with elbows slightly bent and fingers spread, returning back to the side with the palms facing in the same direction the entire stroke. By the way, with any arm moves, if you need less resistance, close your hands into fists instead of spreading the fingers. This exercise has two variations. First, you'll close your hands into fists, and instead of clapping, you'll cross the arms over, touching the opposite shoulder. This move mimics a weight training move called flies. Keep your shoulders down and alternate crossing right over left, then left over right. Now for the second variation, and my favorite. I call it gradual because you're going to gradually work your arms from the water level down to your hips and back up again. See how Karen's arms slowly transition? It's important to take your time emphasizing the process of moving your arms through the water versus the goal of getting to your final destination. Because as you gradually change the direction of your stroke from one anatomical plane to another, different sets of muscles get used even though you're doing the same movement with your arms. So your stroke direction determines which muscles are being utilized. You'll be performing this gradual variation with both flies and clapping arms. Now we'll give the arms a break and only work the legs for exercise 12. In vertical position, we'll be alternating our scissor leg with our cross-country leg, keeping the legs straight, toes pointed, and trying to make full contact with the entire leg each time you close. As you push your leg forward, you're working the muscles of the front of your thigh. As you push your legs back, you're working the muscles of the back of your thigh and your buttocks. And as you push your legs in and out, you're working the muscles of your inner and outer thighs, also known as your abductors and adductors. Ideally, muscles are both strong and flexible, so it's great that we can strengthen and stretch with each move so the muscles on all four sides of our limbs are balanced. Now for our variation. We'll do a bent-kneed, flexed foot version of the same move, and again, trying to make full contact with the entire inner surface of the leg each time. And of course, we have to perform a few sets of our smaller, faster variation with both. Remember, we'll talk you through all these variations down at the pool, so you don't have to remember all of this. And if it seems overwhelming, just learn one new exercise per week. If you enjoy the workout, you'll be glad you have the variety. Exercise 13 remains in vertical position as you transition to big flutter legs with figure 8 arms, sweeping front to back in opposition to the legs. Your figure 8 arms initiate their swing from the shoulder, but your hands play a crucial role because if initiated correctly, they continually meet resistance. To enhance hand awareness, I ask my clients to imagine the wind catching in the sail of a sailboat. The more taut the sail is, the more the boat picks up speed and power. I then ask them to imagine that their hands are like that sail, active, energized, and catching the resistance, never letting the hands go limp. The palms face the direction of the push at all times, the fingers are spread, and the hands slightly cupped, resembling the sail of a boat. Remember, the more active and specific your hands and feet are, the more you'll feel the work in your muscles. Now we'll do a crossing variation where we'll cross the arms over past center. You'll feel this in your obliques, which are part of your abdominal muscles that are being used to stabilize your torso as you cross your arms over. You'll also feel this in the muscles of your chest and shoulders. And then, of course, we'll do our smaller, faster variation of both, performing a small sculling figure 8 motion with the hands, both front to back and crossing. Now Now we're going to lighten it up. Exercise 14 is a free-for-all. You've been performing concentrated sets of reps for the last few exercises, so your muscles are going to need a bit of a break. So for the next 2 minutes, you can do any move you like. You can stretch it out with some light resistance moves such as side stroke or rock climbing, or you can jog or bike, or even dance to the music, whatever you feel you want to do. Suspended in water, your body is totally free, so we want to give you an opportunity to shake it out, move or stretch in any way that your body needs, which might vary from workout to workout. And do note, if you do need to slow it down and take a break, this is a good time to do it. Otherwise, keep your movements at a good pace to keep up your aerobic conditioning. Exercise 15 returns back to a stationary vertical position where you'll perform a medium-sized flutter legs with biceps, triceps, arms in opposition. Keeping your upper arms close to your side, alternately bend and straighten your elbows in opposition to your legs, bringing your hands up to touch your shoulders with wrists stable and fingers spread. With this exercise, we'll guide you through a few easy variations that are performed with just a simple twist of the wrist. You'll start with your palms up, then you'll do a few sets with your palms down. And then you'll do a few sets where you'll twist your wrists so that your palms face the direction of the push each time. And finally, instead of alternating your arms, you'll push both arms together at the same time, sometimes with palms up and sometimes with palms down, working the bicep and tricep muscles of the arms. These variations may not make much sense to you right now, but in the water you will really feel the difference with each twist of the wrist. We'll talk you through these variations down at the pool. Exercise 16 begins with a bent knee, flexed foot variation of our basic scissors leg in vertical position with no arms. As with our straight-legged scissors, your legs simulate a scissors motion, making full contact with the entire leg from the top of the thigh down to the toes. After a few sets, you'll start into another gradual variation where you'll work your legs through the water. You'll begin by pulling in on your abdominal muscles and then slowly transitioning to the vertical side body position, working your legs through the water as you lean to the side. You'll stay there for a few sets, and then you'll slowly transition back down through vertical position, and then up to the other side for a few sets. And then again, you'll slowly transition down through vertical, and then strongly pull in your abdominal muscles and start to gradually bring your legs up to the 90-degree body position. Remember, take your time and really feel the work through the transitions. Once you get to the 90-degree body position, you'll remain there for a few sets. And then finally, you'll work your legs all the way up to the water surface until you're in the C-curve legs up position. Once you get there, you're going to make white water with your legs and cross them over for our last variation. This exercise emphasizes working the inner and outer thighs and the abdominal muscles. Speaking of abdominal muscles, exercises 17 and 18 focus on your abdominal muscles. Therefore, they're not part of our arm and leg core moves. Beginning in a C-curve legs up position, your legs are close together and your feet are flexed in at the water level or lower if that is not comfortable. Perform an abdominal crunch by sitting up, emphasizing flexing the spine forward and bringing your chest to the knees. Try not to jut out your chin and see if you can keep your abdominal muscles pulled in and contracted the entire time, even as you return back to the starting position. Now for a variation. Point your toes, squeeze the knees together, and if you have a healthy low back, let your legs drop to the side to target your oblique muscles. But please note, if you have any type of special back condition where you should not twist your spine, do not drop your knees to the side and do not do the following variation either. Just remain in the beginning position for this entire set. We'll do a few sets on one side and then switch to the other. And then you'll alternate, bringing your knees up to one shoulder and then to the other. This This exercise focuses on strengthening your abdominal muscles and your obliques. And remember, if it's not comfortable for you to have your feet at the water level, perform the exercises with the legs lower and take breaks until you build up your abdominal strength. Now you'll begin exercise 18 in vertical side position, where you'll strongly contract your abdominal muscles as you bring your knees up to your chest and then lay out to the opposite side, straightening the legs, and repeat. Similar to our kickboxing move, you'll want to focus on contracting your abdominal muscles and pulling your legs in, not pushing your legs out. And now for a variation. You'll add in a straight arm with fingers spread, and you'll push your hand and entire arm from the water level down to your ankle. To increase effectiveness, make sure the entire inside of your arm makes contact with the entire side of your leg for a brief moment before letting go. And one more variation, you're going to contract your abdominal muscles and then tuck the arm all the way under your legs until your hand touches the opposite thigh. Again, this exercise focuses on strengthening your abdominal muscles and obliques. Our last two exercises, 19 and 20, repeat two traveling moves you've already performed to kick out the heat and burn a few more calories. You'll travel forward with jogging legs and scooping arms, both deep and shallow, and when you reach the wall, you'll do the small, fast variation of our flutter legs in the C-curve legs up position, making whitewater. We like to repeat some light resistance traveling moves for a few laps at the end of our workout to focus on fat burning, because the longer the duration of your workout, the more you're burning fat for fuel. We'll tell you why later. Now return to panel 7 for your warm down, where you'll end your workout like you began with a few minutes of light jogging. And by the way, if you want more calorie burning, as you strengthen and become more fit, you can add in a few extra minutes of jogging here or at any time during your workout. Then you'll do a few laps of side stroke, and then you'll move into the shallow end of the pool for our final stretches, beginning with a hamstring stretch. Place the ball of your right foot on the wall in front of you, and keeping your knee bent, gently lengthen and stretch your left leg behind you. If you have the flexibility, press your right heel into the wall and gently straighten your right leg, stretching your right hamstring and your left hip flexor. Exchange legs when ready. Now for our inner thigh stretch. Begin by placing both feet on the wall and then gently open your legs into wide splits, keeping your knees bent if needed. Once there, release your shoulders and breathe. Our quadriceps stretch is a more advanced stretch, so only perform it if it's comfortable and you have healthy knees. Facing the wall, one hand holds onto the wall while your other hand holds onto your opposite foot, stretching the muscles in the front of your thigh. Make sure to stand tall and keep your knees close together if possible. And finally, we'll end our workout with some shoulder rolls and then an overhead stretch, taking a deep breath and stretching all the way up. And as you exhale, open your arms wide, and you're done. So those are the exercises that make up the first volume of our series. Remember to learn just a few at a time, and we sincerely hope you enjoy and appreciate the variety and how fun and good it feels to move in new ways.